Hi, I'm Weston. I love talking about the Rangers, and I'm here to talk about Game 50 of the regular season. Rangers over the Buffalo Sabres 3-1, and man oh man, we are creeping up on the playoffs. After this game, we are again still 4 points behind the Boston Bruins, but this is exciting. 5 points behind the Islanders, which by this time Saturday could be 1 point behind the Islanders. So getting into it pretty quickly, Igor Shesturkin gets the start in net, and here's a pretty little, just a fun little neat sprinkling of fun facts for you, something pretty neat. Mika Zibanejad, through his first 29 games, had 3 goals and 8 assists for 11 points. Since then, in 22 games, 16 goals, 18 assists for 34 points, plus you can put tonight in to make it 17 goals, 18 assists for 35 points. And his records through those times, the first 29 was 11, 12, and 4, and since then we are 13, but if you add tonight, 14, 6, and 2. And I want to say, I put this stuff down at like 4 p.m., so before the broadcast started and they mentioned it, and I got kind of irritated that they did, because I wrote it down beforehand. And I'm like, no, now it's going to seem like I stole it. So I swear, I had it written down beforehand. But this is just to show how important Mika Zibanejad has been to this run that we're currently on, which puts us near the playoffs. And again, ladies and gentlemen, this tells you, don't sell low on a star player because they're having a rough start to a weird season after a bout with COVID. You don't do it. You hold tight because eventually they're going to break through. So in the first period, a rather quick period of hockey, at 11:09, this is just something I wanted to bring up because I've mentioned Kaapo Kakko before in his new physical game. There was a brilliant play where he was just over the puck and took a good solid 3 or 4 checks just repeatedly over and over again and wouldn't move off the puck. Like, he is playing such a physical, big physicality, person over the puck now, which is very exciting to see from Kaapo Kakko. And that was really it for the first period. Like, the first period flew by. And here's the thing. It was certainly a 20-minute period of hockey, and no one can take that away from it. That being said, it was rather uneventful. Now, just because it was 0-0, after the first period, here's the thing. Not all 0-0 games are created equal. Igor Shesturkin had 16 saves in the first period, and we had put 6 shots on goal against a goalie whose name I would like to try to pronounce, but, I might not. Who's to say, really? So in the second period, rather early on, 17:34, Miller has it in the offensive zone. He eats it and falls down. Puck gets moved to center ice. It was unassisted, is what the score sheet now says. I thought Miller kind of poked it over to Brendan Smith, but whatever. Brendan Smith gets it. He comes running in, gets a beautiful big drive in, and boom, it's 1-0 Rangers. We take a lead. Smitty is starting to come on scoring-wise, which is not something I thought I would say this season. A little bit later on, at 5 minutes left, the Rangers just had an incredible offensive zone presence. It was a fantastic shift by, I believe it was the third line, so I think it was Hedl, Kakko, and Kreider. It might have, for some reason I thought it was Rooney out there with them, but it was a great shift regardless. Then this was kind of upsetting after this, actually. 1:02 left, Shesterkin with just a great save. Shesterkin was magnificent tonight. 32 seconds left. Hedl takes a tripping call, so the Sabres get a power play. And with 3 seconds left, Sam Reinhart, who is becoming a Rangers killer, gets a great setup about 15 feet in front of the goal, one-timer, and there's nothing you can do, man. It was a one-timer from like 15 feet away. It's 1-1 going into the second period. And we were 3 seconds away from carrying a 1-0 lead into the third, which was just, bad. And this was, to this point, an awful, awful game by the Rangers. The only people that really looked like they showed up was Brendan Smith, Kaapo Kakko, and Alexis Lafreniere, Igor Shesturkin. They were the only ones that were really playing good through the first 40 minutes, which was not exciting. And to this point, we were scoreboard watching. The Bruins, I believe at this point, were up 1-0, but the Islanders were down 1-0. So I'm like, this is a massive game that we need to pick up here. We cannot lose this game to Buffalo, and we ended up not losing it. So into the third period, 16:48, Buffalo for boarding. Rangers get a power play. A little bit later on, 13:03, Kevin Rooney and Cousins, I hope I'm saying that correctly, get into a little bit of a fight. Rooney would get a boarding call or a roughing call. I can't remember which one it was. So the Sabres would get a power play. We would kill it off, and it was a really good penalty kill there. And then 10-11 left. We had something beautiful. A Lafreniere goal. I believe it was Strome with a beautiful setup to Lafreniere in front, and he doesn't miss it. Snipe. Laugh goal, laugh goal, laugh goal, laugh goal, laugh goal, laugh goal. 2-1 Rangers. This would be the game-winning goal. And his 10th of the season, so his 10th career goal, which is exciting that he hit double digits. I was hoping he would this season, but after that start, I was a little concerned. But he has really come on recently. I think this is his 7th or 8th goal in the past 15 or 16 games. He's really turned it up recently, which is super exciting. A little bit later on, this was a fantastic play by Brendan Smith. Again, really stepping up. 8:52. He gets a great hit off, and then he would get cross-checked. And this was great. Rangers would get a power play out of it, which was wonderful. And then a little bit later, about a minute and a half later, 7:36, the puck would go over the glass for the Islanders, which means the Rangers get a 5-on-3. And while we didn't score on the 5-on-3, we would score on the 4-on-5, or the 5-on-4 that preceded it. So, 6:11. After being on the ice for what felt like forever this first power play unit, I genuinely think that first power play unit was on for about 2 minutes. It was absurd. With just that little break for the second penalty to be called, Kreider gets the puck. He goes past the goaltender. Again, I'm going to try to say his name in a minute. And he, with a beautiful no-look behind-the-back pass over to Mika Zibanejad, and he doesn't miss it, drills it in, buried it, 3-1 Rangers, and it's a power play goal for Mika Zibanejad. And this is exciting, the 300th career point for Ryan Strome, which is pretty cool. A little bit later on, 4:56, a nice little flurry of saves by Igor Shesturkin. Again, he was phenomenal tonight. And that was really it. The Rangers get a nice 3-1 victory. And before I get into some, playoff stuff, I want to talk about the players tonight. So Alexis Lafreniere gets the game winner. This has to be his 4th game winner, it feels like. He doesn't score a ton of goals, or at least he has until recently, but I think his first 2 were game-winning goals, which is kind of funny. And this is another one for him, so that's great for him. I thought he's been, really heating up recently. He's coming into his own, which is super exciting. Ryan Strome with a nice 2-point night, again getting his 300th for his career. Mika Zibanejad gets another one. Great one on the power play. I thought he had a really good game, especially on the penalty kill as well. He's fantastic on the penalty kill this year, all year long. And, man, another player that has really stepped up in the absence of Jacob Trouba, Brendan Smith has really just become a leader in the absence of Jacob Trouba, which hopefully will be getting him back in the next few days. But, man, Brendan Smith has really shocked me recently, which is great to see from him. Sort of an elder statesman. I believe he's played 514 games now in the NHL, which some people kind of take shots at Brendan Smith for being a bad player. And I guess it really depends on what you expect out of a person like Brendan Smith. He's the 6th to 5th defenseman on a team that isn't a playoff team, or a deep playoff contender, I guess is the way to put it. We might make the playoffs, but he's like a 6th or 5th defenseman on a pretty good, not great team. Are you expecting him to be all-star caliber? He's fine. He's, I would say, borderline pretty decent. And again, recently he's been very good in the absence of Jacob Trouba. He's been a really physical presence, and another goal tonight for him to get us on the board, which is fantastic. And now the star of the show, right? The main meat and potatoes of the game. Igor Shesturkin. Oh my goodness gracious. Magnificent. Fantastic night. He kept us in this game for the first, 40 minutes. There's no other point to it. This is at least, and I like Georgiev. I really do. So when I say things like this, I'm not just trying to take pot shots at him. I mean this being, more so praising Igor Shesturkin. If it's Georgiev or Kincaid in that, it's probably 3-0, or at least 3-1 going into the third. Igor Shesturkin kept us in this game for forever, way longer than we, by all rights, deserved to be. 36 of 37 tonight, and was perfect. 34 for 34 on even strength. The only goal he gave up was that Sam Reinhart blast one-timer from 15 feet out on the power play, which I don't know what you expect if you think that that's going to be stopped. And with that said, the Rangers now, we're not going away. We just keep winning and grinding these points out. We get another 2 tonight. We now are 7-2 in the last 9 games. We are still 4 points behind Boston, but this is really interesting. The Islanders continue to slip. They lost again tonight, another 1-0 loss to the Capitals, and now they are only a 5-point lead over us right now, which the next 2 games are against the Islanders, which if all goes well, by Saturday night at this time, or Sunday at this time, depending on when this gets uploaded, we could be 1 point out from a playoff spot with our remaining 4 games, which would be insane if this is possible, because they had such a lead. A couple days ago, they had an 11-point lead on us, like just, I think, Saturday or so. And now it's shrunk to 5, which is kind of crazy. And again, it could be 1 by Saturday, which is absurd. So yeah, that is it for the game. We play the Islanders Thursday at 7. That is also the night of the NFL draft. And the Astros play at like 2 o'clock that day. So I am going to be running on caffeine that day. So thank you all so very much for watching this video. That is all I have to say. So thank you all so very much for watching. I hope you all have an absolutely fantastic day. And as always, go Rangers.